All right. Okay. So, all right, here we are. All right. So tonight I wanted to talk a little bit about food sensitivities, because a lot of us are on the gut protocol, and how that kind of manifests and things to look for, and also just see where everybody's at. A lot of us are on week 3. Mariana, you started this week, right?
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind.
Okay. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. You can fill us in. So, and the reason I want to talk about it is because I had an epiphany myself, which is that soy and I are not the besties I thought we were. And it really triggered with tofu. I still have quite a bit of acne left, which is really fun at 48 to, look like my teen. So it's not like super surprising to me, because in the past I didn't have a lot of soy in my diet, period, before this. There wasn't foods that I really ate a lot that had soy. I was never a soy milk drinker. I would use soy sauce. I'd use tamari most of the time, and a low sodium tamari, and not necessarily a lot, not often. But I did have instances in the past where, like, if we went to sushi and I would dip it in a lot of soy sauce, like I'd get kind of lethargic in the afternoon. So I don't know if that was just the amount I was eating, or the fact that, the soy was in it. And then, so during this process, this first week of the gut protocol. Hi. Hey, Kathy, how are you?
Okay, how are you?
Good. We're just getting started talking about food sensitivities.
Okay.
And so the first week of the gut protocol, my energy was outstanding, right? My skin was clearing up. Everything was good. And I actually didn't start with any soy products. And then toward the middle of the week, I started adding in some of the soy, the regular aminos, Bragg's aminos. And I added in some tempeh late that week. And then the next week, I did have one thing of tofu that first week. And it was funny because it felt like I had eaten a brick, and it just kind of sat there all day, and I wasn't hungry. And then, so then I kind of left that for a while, did a little tempeh in week 2. And then over the weekend between 2 and 3, I found the vegan tofu or vegan feta recipe, which tasted amazing. It was marinated tofu, and it was like so lemony and oregano, and it was just like so yummy. So I had it 3 days in a row, and that's where it all went downhill. My face fully broke out. Ooh. I had an afternoon, like the third day I ate it, I had a larger serving, just wiped me out. All my energy was gone. It felt just like I did before I left eggs out of my life. Nauseous, no energy, just feeling crappy. Really? So it was interesting when it happened, because I was like, oh, I remember this feeling. I remember thinking, okay, it's going to get better. Or maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. And then I just kept feeling so blah. And then later in the day, I added in water, took out all the soy, and from then have continued to improve, other than this cold I have going, which also is great timing because everybody in my family's pretty much been sick over the last 2 weeks. So that's fun too. But I also kind of wonder if that I was run down, right? And so then that's why I got it, because I haven't been sick over this last 2 weeks when everybody else has been sick in the house. And it's not awful for me just yet. It's just annoying. So in that, I'm like, okay, so now I'm going to take out all the soy and see where I land. Now, I know a lot of people, when they have food sensitivities, it doesn't present itself in the same ways, right? Like it could be just some minor things. It could be indigestion. It could be diarrhea. It could be constipation, TMI, but I also was starting to get constipated during those 3 days when I was having a lot of the tofu. So I don't know if that was correlated, but it really felt like all of it was kind of coming together for me. And I'm like, I think soy and I just aren't the besties I thought we were. So now it's all out. I went to the coconut aminos, which I've been dragging my feet on because I really like the regular Bragg's aminos. So, and now I'm interested to see how things will be, because I I did feel some of my energy returning in that same way. And my face puffiness has gone down and the acne is starting to recede. It's not quite as active as it was. Like it just kind of kept throwing up new guys. And I'm like, really? This is really ridiculous. So yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit about that, like how everybody's feeling. Have you had some of those things happening in this time? And then as we get in past week 4, right, when we start adding some things back in, these are some of the things to watch for. So does anybody have anything that's happened during that you're feeling? Yeah. All right, Lily, what's yours?
Well, so I was at an event this entire last week where I have no choice as to what I eat, basically, or what I can order, because everything's ordered and ahead of time. And so I was excited to see that they had tofu on the menu, but it was crusted with something, and I don't know what it was. It said gluten-free, no idea. Most of the items were gluten-free, but I don't know what was actually in it. So, but I ate that, and then I had salad that was already dressed with some type of ranch or something. I don't know. It had something creamy in it. And so literally 20 to 30 minutes after I ate, my stomach was in knots, and just it was painful. And it lasted all, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. And then the next morning when I woke up, it went away. And then, but then the next morning I ate a little bite of gluten-free, dairy-free muffin that they had made. And literally I took one bite and I was like, oh my God, all I taste is sugar.
Right.
So it was like just granulated sugar. That's all I could taste. And I was like, well, I can't eat that. And so I ate the eggs, and I felt okay actually after eating the eggs, because I know dairy's in a lot of hotel eggs and stuff, and just tried to stay away from everything. And I felt okay, but for some reason, something in that tofu or that dressing just did me in. I was really surprised.
How thick was the breading? Do you think it was a cornstarch? Because a lot of times they'll do a cornstarch and then fry it.
It was really, really thin, and it looked like cornstarch.
Okay. So maybe corn or whatever was in the salad.
Yeah, I don't.
Dressing.
I don't know. It could have been either one, because we didn't have that again, so I couldn't not try one or the other.
Yeah.
And so yeah, it was very interesting to see the immediate effects of eating something that irritated me.
Right.
So.
Really works fast when it irritates you.
Well, sometimes, yeah, because sometimes I think sometimes it does. And sometimes, it's still going to be a slow process back in. I guess it depends on how alert your body is to it, right?
Wow.
Yeah, and I had that same feeling like you did. Like I got super full, and like I bloated out, and I was uncomfortable, and I was like, oh, this is horrible. And of course, I was sitting at a dinner table. I couldn't get up and leave because everybody's, having social hour. I'm like, dang it. But yeah, it was just totally bizarre. And I'm going to actually have tofu tonight and see. I don't think it was the tofu. I think it was the breading on the tofu, because I've had tofu before. But it's very interesting how in tune you become with what's happening with your body and stuff. So, but I am happy to say I stuck to my guns. I did not have one drink, and I did not have any sugar or any desserts, which were plethora everywhere.
Good for you.
Very good.
And I dropped a pound in the 3 days that I was there.
Okay.
So surprisingly.
Well, not really. You were on the go, I'm sure.
Oh, well, yeah.
You're humping it. You're doing all that stuff.
Yeah. We worked for 3 days. Yeah. It was busy, but yeah, it was.
I wonder if the sensitivity feels so obvious because prior we've been feeling so good. And so but if you're in this constant state of like feeling okay or a little run down in the afternoons or whatever, but then all of a sudden now you're elevated, right? And you're feeling really great. And then something comes in, you're like, oh, okay, I know what that is, or that's not how I've been feeling. So that's clearly a difference. Because I've been shocked at how much energy I had in those first few weeks. Like, really shocked because I expected that energy during the reset. And I never got to that point, the point I was at.
Yeah, I've experienced the energy as well. So it was nice to have. But
Jack's trying to talk to me through the window to eat my turkey sausage patty.
So I can tell you that I started having a couple cups of coffee.
Okay, we know
And
this could be a trigger for you.
you know where this is going, because if you recall, I was complaining that I was getting a lot of, like heartburn and stuff when I was drinking coffee before. And almost instantly do I feel that way again. So I either have to decide how much I'm going to put up with it, or, is it acceptable? Do I love coffee that much? Or am I going to just kick it to the curb and do something different? So, yeah.
Do you use organic coffee?
I do not. Do you think that would make a difference?
It's worth trying because most coffees are very highly pesticide. I mean, they put a lot of crap on coffee.
Okay.
And so you could not be as triggered with an organic version.
Okay. I will definitely give it a try, because if I don't have to give up my coffee.
I have also, I mean, it depends. It depends on your sensitivity. I had to give up my coffee. So I feel your pain.
Yeah.
But it literally was so miserable for me because I couldn't get past it. Like there was nothing that I could do. I had to let it run its course, and I hated the way I felt.
Great.
So much that I wasn't even willing to give organic a try. Like, I'm just like, no, I can't. It's just no. But there's that. And then there's also like a combination coffee that like has like other type of herbs. Like I want to say like lion's mane and like mushrooms and things so that it's less coffee and it's more of other herbs that can support you a little bit better. But again, it could just be coffee altogether.
Yeah.
I know for me, I can have cafe latte and it doesn't cause me issues, but that's because cafe latte's flavoring comes from the coffee fruit, not from the bean.
Interesting.
Well, and wouldn't you say it might not be coffee per se, but the acidity of coffee that's causing the reflux? So, there might be other things that are acidic that could trigger it too, in the same way coffee does.
Could be. It could be. So yeah, it's one of those things, I mean, that you just kind of have to try and see.
Okay.
If you're willing to do it.
that makes me sad because I did not have any coffee either.
Oh.
I still haven't gone back.
Yeah. Well, you may not have an issue with it.
I've been having it 3 times a week. In fact, I have one right now. I have an almond milk latte. And I have not noticed a difference when I have it, which I'm happy about because I'm a coffee drinker like you.
Yeah.
Get it. That was about
that I don't drink coffee.
Oh no, I love coffee. I would drink like, as much as possible all day.
I'd drink all day if I could.
Cutting it out. Yeah, exactly.
I just never liked it. I can't even eat coffee ice cream.
Interesting.
Sue, have you tried matcha?
I have.
Did you like that as a
Mhm.
substitute?
I do.
Did anyone else do the what's it called? No, I just lost it. The thing Autumn did. What's the name of it? It's the glass bottle chai, the chai latte, chai matcha latte that Autumn did. So I've been doing that in the mornings, and I do like it a lot more than just the straight matcha.
Huh.
Yeah, there you go. Lily's got one too. So it's like a chai concentrate. I'm kind of blowing through mine pretty fast. So I might try the one you've got, Lily, because the one bottle I have was $20. So
Wow.
Yeah, make sure you get the unsweetened though, because
Yeah.
there's 2 different kinds.
yeah, the blue one is sweetened. Same with the one Autumn was using. The white one is sweetened, and the gold one is unsweetened. Autumn.
Yeah, she was using the wrong one. Again, do as she says, not as she
Not
does.
that she does. But yeah, but it kind of, like if it takes away some of that grassiness, and gives you a little, little other flavor point. So I really have been enjoying it.
I found, it's like a dandelion tea. Didn't I send that to you?
The tea, is it Ticinos or
No.
Ticino?
No, it's
Oh,
like dandy. I think it's Dandy Blend or something like that. I think I sent it to Lily at one point.
Have the one Lily's got in her hands.
It tastes, no.
You sent me a different one, but I already had this one.
I love
so this
that
one's
one.
Good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
that a
I
lot of night.
I don't love them. I haven't found a flavor that I love, but no, I had a friend who sent me a little bit of the dandelion tea, and it's actually like powder, and I can't remember what it's called. I would just have to look at the picture, but it tastes the closest thing to coffee that I have ever tasted.
Oh, interesting.
Hmm.
Yeah, post it in our group, then we can test it out.
Yeah, maybe Sue can test that out and
I
it'll be
know.
all right, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it literally was the closest thing that I've found so far. Cause yeah, that was a tragedy. And it smells like it too. That's like when it's in the cup, it's like, ooh, that smells like coffee. But please understand that I have been away from coffee, but at the same time, I know what it smells like. So, because I had a very long love affair with coffee. Drinking a pot half a day for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yes, it was a cup of choice.
So Sue, have you had any other foods coming up that do anything?
No, because I really haven't added much to it. I've been eating pretty much fruits, vegetables, gluten-free, oatmeal, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And things that you previously ate anyway.
Right. Yes. Now, what
Yeah.
I have not been eating any kind of beans or lentils. So, we'll see what happens if I feel better because I'm not eating that.
So were you having an issue with those?
I'm not sure. I was feeling still kind of bloated when I was eating those. So I just stopped it.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if it was causing me problems or not, but I think it was a mental thing more than anything.
I notice, well, I rinse them quite well now, but I also notice if I remember to take my enzymes before the beans, I don't notice that I've eaten beans at all. But if I don't take the enzyme, then I can notice
You notice it.
and
Yeah.
the digestion happening.
Yeah. So, but I don't necessarily love beans or lentils, so it's not a loss to me.
Yeah, you're not sad about it.
No, not really.
Jess, do you have anything that you felt like is kind of, I don't know, alerting you that you might have a sensitivity during this 3 weeks? Anything new you've added in?
Well, I did just eat Core Life about an hour ago, but I picked everything that was healthy and like gluten-free and vegan, which is pretty easy to do there if you've ever eaten there.
I don't know what's Core Life.
It's just a really healthy franchise. So
okay.
they've got a lot of vegan options, but it's all minimally processed. So it was good. Actually, it hasn't bothered me yet. So, I had quinoa and stuff, but no, I think just kind of recognizing a little bit about the fiber and, the whole raw vegetable thing. That was really, really interesting. Just feeling like I can now tell what is caught. Am I glitching on you guys?
You were just a little bit, but you're back now for me.
Okay. So yeah, just the whole fiber and raw vegetables and how, I think that might be part of it. I actually just talked to my doctor about it a couple hours ago, and she was like, instead of calling it a UTI, she called it something I can't even think of it. I'm gonna have to Google it. Some sort of like not a cyst, but a systemic, I want to say systemic. That's not the right word. I don't remember what she said, but there's a word for it. And she said there's a whole diet around it. And she was like, just, Google it and you can find kind of this information and see if that might be what it is. Cause it's always so mild, but yeah. I think the other thing I found, I think it's a sensitivity in a good way. I always dream like every single night, and it is the stupidest shit I've ever had in my brain. It's always dumb. It always interferes with real life because sometimes it crosses over and I don't know. I'm like, did that happen? Did I have that conversation? So it's
Right.
kind of frustrating. So I was talking to her a little bit about that. And, but I noticed over the weekend when I had kombucha or kombucha, whatever you call it, I had it Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And I slept so good. And again, thinking about it being your second brain, your gut being your second brain, I was like, I guarantee you there's something in there that helps calm my stomach down. And I even had, like when I had my Friday night, which was the first time I drank a lot of it, my stomach just felt like soothed. That's the only way I can think of it. It was just a comforted feeling. And so I slept really well. And Sunday, Monday night, I intentionally didn't have any. And obviously, because I know we're only supposed to have it a couple times a week, but I had really weird freaking dreams again. So it was just really weird.
Easy. So were they the same flavors? Because like ginger's like a stomach soother, or if you had turmeric in it. But so like I'm curious, like were the flavors, or is it the kombucha itself, or?
I think it's the kombucha. I had different flavors every night. I think 2 out of the 3 had ginger in them. But the one I had was the Lavender Love. Oh, it was glorious. You guys find that one? It's that GP brand, but it was really good. Yeah, so I don't know. It's just weird. But I mean, having done the reset a couple times, I'm very confident in that eating certain foods does affect my sleep. I very much tied like beef and red meat to kind of like bad dreams, honestly.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
That's fascinating.
It's so weird. But she actually, my doctor actually was like, we can do a sleep study and check on stuff. And I'm like, ooh, she's like, let me know if you want to do it. I'm like, okay. Like, so I can maybe play around with it and test out my theories and try to figure it out. But yeah.
Fascinating.
It's crazy.
Oh, Mariana, well, you'll have to update us next week on how things
Bye,
are going.
Mariana.
I will. Have a great night, girls. It was so lovely seeing all of you, and I'll catch you girls in the chat.
All right, sounds
Okay.
good.
Smile.
Bye.
Smile big. Oh, she's
Oh.
left.
Oh,
Dang it.
she's fun.
Dang it.
Well, good. I think come week 5, it's going to get interesting too when we start adding stuff back in. I don't know. I'll just be curious about what's happening and what, like, how it works for everyone. Because it seems like right now we're having so many people in the group with such great feelings about things. Things are going well, sleeping better, more energy. There's some people losing weight, just kind of feeling better. So I'm excited to see how all that works out. So, yeah, I don't know. Is there anything anybody wants to talk about with food sensitivities? Or I think we kind of covered that. And then we're just free for all right now because I really don't have any other hot topics for tonight.
When do we get to eat pizza?
Ooh,
I mean, like, come on.
it was week 5 or 6. You can introduce it and see what happens.
Yeah. Surely there's stores or places that have gluten-free pizza.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I mean, most pizza places have it.
Yeah.
What are emulsifiers, by the way, and how do they affect you?
Well, they keep a product together.
Okay.
So, like a lecithin is usually an emulsifier. So most of the time it's soy. I'm trying to think. Bev, do you know some of the other common ones?
Gums.
What'd you say?
Gums.
Gums, yeah, like guar gum.
Yep.
Carrageenan. That one's an emulsifier for almond milk.
Yeah. Yep. And ice cream. It's actually in a lot of ice creams. Carrageenan is. Especially, like, I don't know if Dairy Queens. Do you have a
Yeah.
has carrageenan in their ice cream. Like in their
Is it bad for you?
I've heard, that's what I was gonna ask. I've
Not
heard it's not.
necessarily. I mean, there's some sources that are better than others. It like there's a natural carrageenan that comes from algae.
From what
that-
I understand, it all comes from algae though.
It does all come from algae? Oh, okay.
That's what I have been made to understand. And really at small amounts, no, but the problem is that you're getting it in a lot of things. Like, for instance, they put carrageenan in like chicken breasts, boneless, skinless chicken breasts, so that the boneless, skinless chicken breasts can weigh more because it helps the chicken to hold water so that they can charge you more for chicken breasts that don't really cook down to like lose like a ton of weight when you cook it. And I know that from personal experience. We've done.
Asking is I bought this little, it's chai masala extract to go in my coffee or my matcha. And so that's one of the ingredients, and I was curious about it because I didn't know anything. So it's extract of ginger, cinnamon, black pepper, cardamom, nutmeg, clove, and permitted emulsifiers is what it says.
Yeah.
I was just curious what the heck it was because I didn't know anything about it.
Keeps it all suspended and together so that when you your dropper, you're getting the full flavors.
Yeah, instead of it being separated into different.
Oh, Bev, how are you making that chicken? What are you doing?
Well, there's coconut oil in the pan, and I'm gonna just toss it in this pan, and then I'm gonna take some black pepper, salt, let's see, Aleppo pepper, ground cumin, white pepper, coriander. What else in here? I don't know. I can't find it. Sometimes I put turmeric. Often cardamom. Cardamom.
So then you just saute it in the pan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's all I do. Sorry. It's like really loud apparently because I'm like lit up like a Christmas tree over here.
Well, anytime it makes an extra noise, it'll come over. So how are things going for you, Kathy?
Okay, I'm coming along. Pretty much the same. But I'm still here.
Well, that's good.
So that's good.
Are you still doing your workout?
Yes. Yeah.
Good.
And now I'm going to physical therapy for my hip that never turned out good.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna see where that goes.
Right.
Because the
Well,
other,
that can help a lot. I mean, there's a lot of exercises they can do to help strengthen things around your hip.
yeah, because that hip has no strength in it.
Yeah.
Really, it's very weak. 'Cause
Well,
that-
and likely you probably, for lack of a better word, baby it, right? You like
Probably.
you work on the other side and you let the supporting muscles on the other
Yeah.
side do
Because a
everything.
lot of movements still hurt that hip. Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
full range of motion. You know, I thought it was going to be brand new, but he screwed it up, I think.
Yeah. Well, and hopefully the PT, I'm sure they'll give you exercises to do daily and hopefully they
Yeah.
can pinpoint where to get the best benefit.
Right.
But you just have to make sure you do them. That's the tricky part. You got to get really consistent with the exercises they give you.
Yeah. So I kind of do it every morning because if I leave it for the afternoon, I won't do it. So I get it done in the morning.
That sounds
Well,
like
does
a
anyone have any like things that are coming up with your with our group or any questions that have been asked lately that we want to address for the larger group?
I just thought it was interesting. I was posting a little about, the gut protocol, and I was saying how, this is so it's not easy, but it's once you figure it out and you figure out the process and the plan, it's much easier in that. And I was just really surprised by actually one of my friends who's doing the gut protocol was like, you're doing this again? She's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, wait, so there's still a lot of people out there that think this is just you do this for 4 to 6 weeks and then you go back. But it's like, I can't go back. Like, yeah, I think for some people that's going to be challenging, but you know, it was just really interesting. So I tried to explain it in, you know, as in my comment, like, no, you should eat like this all the time. It's not just let's do it for a few weeks and then go back to eating our pizza every Friday night. And so,
yeah, those are going to be one-off, right? Not the usual. What'd you say, Lily?
So think about how awesome you feel now compared to like when you have a reaction to something and how crappy you feel or low energy or like why would you want to go back to that?
Right.
I guess.
Exactly.
And that would be my reaction. Why would I want to go back to feeling bloated? And I mean, we saw those pictures this afternoon that were posted, and some of the results are amazing, like insane. And it's all just from changing what you're eating.
Well, and you think about how much inflammation people were just carrying with them day to day and just not having any idea that there's a way to feel better or that it could be a food that is causing certain issues.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, we get kind of used to just, this is how it is, right? Or there's so many times I hear people who are like, well, this is, you know, we're at that age, so this is it. Right. And it's like, well, not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
yeah, I hear you. I don't want to hear that. Well, you're getting older. You know what? Let me show you my favorite finger.
Well, it's funny because my husband all the time is like, it's all getting old or whatever. I'm like, whatever, I'm older than you. I'm like, I can still do all that stuff. I'm like, maybe you should treat your body better.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually just posted something in my stories. It was from Dr. Mark Hyman, which I agree with a lot of the things that he shares about, but he was talking about apparently, well, he basically says that aging is basically just a result from inflammation.
Right.
And there is now a new terminology called inflammaging.
Oh,
that's
okay.
actually what it is. It's inflammaging.
Never heard that.
Yeah. So the link, the post is in my stories. It was like I think it's the last thing that I shared. But yeah, I've been saying that for years. Like my family, like my extended family thinks that we're insane for all the things that we do, for all the things that we won't eat. And it's like, I'm sorry, but why would I want to feel like you do every day?
Yeah.
When I feel awesome.
I totally agree. Like, why do I want aches and pains? I mean, that's why you work out all the time, right? So that you have movement in your life and your body is meant to move. Your body is meant to eat real food. If you're going to eat Cheetos all the time, it's not going to work the same way. It's just not.
Right. And I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, my dad makes a lot of food, but I mean, he cooks unhealthy, you know, I mean, he like cooks, you know, I told you, like he made, you know, tortellini and cream sauce and he made, you know, this amazing cheesecake. He cooks with like, you know, lots of fat and it's all about, you know, big pieces of meat with a little bit of vegetable and a bunch of carbs on the side. And it's like, no, I would feel awful if I ate like that.
Well, and I think that's the difference, right? You look at the food and think about how you're going to feel after.
Yeah.
And
that's true.
That's what's different in this gut protocol is you look at the foods and you're like, oh, I know how I'll feel on this. So I'm going to have this because I know how great I feel over here.
Right.
Yeah.
And I will still have times where I'm like, oh, well, I'm going to do this and but I will literally plan my days and my out because like, I'll know, okay, when my boys' birthdays were coming up, we ate great, like all the way up to, you know, that day. But at the same time, the cheesecake that I made, it was all, though it was high sugar, high fat, it was all non-super processed stuff. And so the body is able to deal with it.
Right.
But I knew I was going to have more sugars. I knew I was going to have more possible inflammatories added into my system. And so I prepared myself by eating really well coming up to it, and then after it, and then coming up to the next event. You know, it was like, since I knew I had so like,
Yeah.
okay, now I'm gonna skip whatever so that I don't overdo it. Cause that's often what it is at this point. It's about just reducing the amount of information instead of, I mean, there are things like, as I said, I don't drink coffee because I don't want to feel the edgy, crawly grossness that I feel when I drink coffee. But, and I don't want to drink, or I don't want to eat gluten because that makes me get like severe brain fog that lasts.
That's the worst too.
Like you just can't even, it's like,
Ugh,
yeah.
can't even function.
No, can't have a conversation, can't come up with words.
Yeah.
I mean, go through a time in your life where you actually literally feel like you're losing your brain. Like you can't verbalize and converse with another human being. If they come up to you, you literally are sitting there saying, please do not come up to me and talk to me. Like you're literally thinking that because you can't have the conversation because you literally can't come up with words. Like you, like of common things that, you know, and then you feel stupid. It's like, okay, I really know that what I'm trying to say here, and I know that it just doesn't make sense. So I'm sorry.
I'm wondering, like, I don't know if everybody else kind of, I wouldn't say deals with this, but has these experiences. Like, I'm the only person in my house that eats healthy. So I'm wondering, what I'm finding is, like, you know, I honestly don't mind making 2 different dinners. I mean, I try to weave it in so it's not super complicated. So I'm eating something healthy, they can have their macaroni and cheese, whatever. But what I'm finding is I'm getting really irritated with people eating like shit. So like I'm
totally agree.
Short. Like Jesse
totally
was
agree.
eating cereal and Captain Crunch in bed, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what I'm like, you're not 12. Like, seriously, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But I'm like, he's getting annoyed with me, but I'm getting annoyed with him. So like, how do people kind of manage that when you're kind of the one leading with the torch?
That's so hard because it's like, I am not your manager. Right.
Right.
But it's like, I look at how I eat, how I work out, how I do things, because I want to be active, mobile, well into my old age.
Yes.
Right. And I look at what's happening in here when I'm not cooking, and I'm like, oh, you're going to be sitting in a chair somewhere.
Yes, exactly.
Right. And I'm like, that's ridiculous because I'm going to be off to Europe. So it's going to be a bummer.
You would think they'd learn just by watching you.
Huh?
You would think they would learn just by watching you.
That's not the case though. Like my youngest absolutely eats well, reads labels. He's my mini me. He gets it. But he also still, like, he can tell when he's made choices and he's still learning. But like my 17-year-old, he likes what he likes. And it's like, you know, he's very picky, and it's like, you know, this and that.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually he is taking the enzymes and the probiotics. But it's like the other parts of the day when I'm not there is like a giant ice
What
cream.
about your husband? How does he eat?
He'll eat whatever I make. He will eat well, but if he's in charge of cooking, it's a big piece of meat. Right? Like when I was just cooking my foods for the reset, he would cook he and the boys like a giant steak. And then he'd be like, all right, dinner's on. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So he's not learning anything either.
So, but he will eat all the vegetables and all the things. It's just not consistent, because it's whether or not I've made enough, or you know what I mean? If I okay, it's okay. It just fell down. My garland fell down. Now the dog's alive.
It's letting you know.
Yeah, I think it's hard to, at least for me, like being a coach and being, you know, kind of like modeling the behavior for a lot of people who are like, yeah, I want to do this with you. And then everybody in my house is like, they're like just rebelling against me, honestly. I mean, Jesse goes to the store, we're getting snack cakes. I mean, And I can not have that stuff. It doesn't bother me to be in the house, but it's also like Mason eats that stuff in the middle of the night. Like he has the worst. I mean, he eats carbs with a side of carbs with a side of a Hostess cupcake. Like it is awful. And I'm like, again, not trying to like give my child trauma that he has to try to undo in his 30s, your dog. I just saw your dog like jump up in the background. But it's just like, I'm sure there's a lot of other people who are going through this and, you know, you want to be healthy, but it's hard to make 2 meals or whatever your thing might be. But
Well,
just
and it's
wondering
a
what others-
delicate balance because you don't want to be like the authoritarian.
Right.
And be like, you have to, because you also want them to want to eat how you're eating. And somehow like one kid is doing it, but another kid is not. And I don't know. Because I don't want to be the police all the time either, because it's their choice.
Yeah.
So, the oldest one's about 18 this summer, so he's gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, thanks. I was just curious. Oh, go ahead, Lily.
I know for no, you're fine. I know for me, I told Aaron when I started, I said, look, I'm gonna do this. Please just support me. I said, I don't care what you eat, whatever. It's not gonna affect me. When you wave your coffee in front of me, that's rude, but that it's not gonna affect me. I'm gonna do whatever. But you do what you want to do. And I'm not asking, if you want to do this with me, great. If you don't want to do it with me, that's fine as well. But it's either way, it's fine. And so at first he was drinking and eating whatever. And this last week when we were on the event, he actually like picked something up and he read the label. He's like, "Oh, you're making me read labels now." And so he set it down. I was like, you can eat whatever you want. I said, no judgment here. I said, I'm on my journey for me. You got to do what you want to do for you. And he's like, no, I'm not going to eat it. So I think they're paying attention to you, even if they're not joining you.
I think that's true. It is hard. It's hard because you think I'm doing this and I'm showing you how to do it and you should do it. And you know how great you feel. But it's hard to write the ship.
So I have an opposite story. So all of a sudden, George decided he was going to start eating healthy, right? And he calculated his macros to know exactly, like, I think he uses Fitness Pal or something to know exactly how much fat and how much, everything throughout the day. And he's in the kitchen weighing his chicken on a scale, like a food scale. And I'm like, oh, that looks like a half a cup. Just put it in there. Yeah. So he sort of got me because I'm going, maybe that's not really a half a cup. Maybe that's 3/4 of a cup, So I started measuring all my stuff again too. This was a while ago, but still. Yeah. It's kind of funny because he was been eating pretty healthy lately.
That's good. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I've been measuring since we started the gut protocol again. And I don't know why it surprises me, but I generally eyeball it under a container, I find.
Yeah.
So it's kind of always a pleasant surprise to see how big of a pile
For
of food.
all containers or just which is a specific container?
I think for most of them, I think I under it for most of them. Yeah, maybe not fruit because I don't, I usually just use a, part of a banana or whatever, or I don't know, but yeah. A lot fits in those little things.
Yeah, it does.
I'm
You
the
don't realize it.
I weigh and measure everything because I want all the food.
Yes.
I do not want to miss a single morsel of food that I can eat in a day. Like literally I get every container in and it's like clockwork. Like it happens. If I have a container left, it will get in my stomach by the end of the day. Like I am like, yes, I can't even tell you. I love food so much. I have it in my mind. Like that's going to be the biggest challenge is like changing the containers in my mind. Like I'll be like, okay, give me a week and I'll get on it. But
So Beverly, how does your husband eat? Is he healthy?
what?
How does your husband eat? Is he healthy?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was not. He was
What?
not. He was not like originally, but I mean, we've been on this journey for 13 years together.
Oh,
So
okay.
I mean, he did not start out that way. It was his friend that introduced the whole idea of removing enriched flour, high fructose corn syrup, and hydrogenated oils.
Mhm.
And was his friend who introduced Tony Horton into my life.
Okay.
But at that point in time, I mean, I ate cereal, boxed cereal. I would eat it for everything if I could, because I loved cereal. Everything pretty much came out of boxes. I mean, I would make dinner. But you know, it was like boxed, jarred, whatever. Just add meat, add something to it, add water. I don't know. But we just slowly but surely changed what I would buy at the grocery store and what he would, you know, and then when I would send him to the store with a list, he would get the list because we lived paycheck to paycheck or paycheck to credit card. So it was very specific. You're getting these things. You don't get anything else. That was fun. And then, I mean, just he watched how Shakeology responded, how I responded to Shakeology. And he wanted it because he saw how much I enjoyed it. He felt like FOMO from it. So then we had to get it so that he could have it too. It was kind of like the same thing with the kids too. Because my youngest, he eats like super ridiculously healthy. He's the one that has all the food sensitivities.
Yeah.
But he used to literally, I mean, it was canned carrots, mac and cheese, and chicken nuggets was his diet. And that's pretty much all he liked. Snack foods. He did not like fruit unless it was dried or in a puddle of syrup. He did not like regular vegetables at all. Like it had to be like the canned carrots or canned green beans that, you know, had the salt and and stuff. He would do pretty much any carb snacky thing. But yeah, his gut was a disaster. And that's like a whole story. But yeah, so he definitely, once he started having Shakeology, that changed for him. And then he started eating other things. Like he started eating the meals that I was preparing at night. And yeah, I mean, I didn't go straight to stir fry. I was, you know, I would make spaghetti that had whole grain noodles and sauce that had less sugar. And, you know, it was like little things that built to where we are today.
Okay.
Yeah.
We always ate healthy. My husband was always better than me. He was always into eating right and nutrition. He said his mother was a terrible cook. They ate terrible, and he just changed his life. But then he had 20 pounds he needed to lose, and he just couldn't do it. And I kept telling him, "You're eating too much." He goes, "Yeah, but this is good stuff." I said, "Yeah, but good stuff can be too much too." So until he went to a nutritionist after his heart surgery, because it was part of the rehab, and she told him to cut down. So he did exactly what she said, because he knew exactly what he ate. To cut this, add this, take this out, whatever. And he lost the 20, and he makes me measure everything now, because we used to just make something, put it on the table. He says, "No, just make my plate with as much as I'm supposed to eat," because both of us will just keep eating until the dish is empty.
Right.
So now we measure it.
And I are like that. Yeah. So yeah, we do the same thing. We make our plates, and then we actually put the rest of our food away, and then we eat dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah. But he gets made fun of because he's in the construction industry and he eats a salad at lunch.
That's it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No protein?
It's a big salad, but yeah, he gets made fun of because, you know, he works with a bunch of guys that are like, "I can't believe your wife has you eating that salad." He's like, "What are you talking about? I eat it because I want it. Tastes great. Fills me up. I have great
protein?
afterwards."
No protein?
No, there's protein in it.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got beans and he's got meat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but your husband will be dancing circles around them in about 10 years when they can't
Right.
move.
He already does. He's got like 20-year-old kids that, are living off of Monster energy drinks and whatever they can pick up at the gas station on their way to the next job, or fast food restaurant that they hit on the way to the next job. And yeah, they can't keep up with him.
All right, you guys, I hate to cut you off a little bit here, but I have a PTO meeting at 6.
okay.
I need to jump off for.
Oh,
Sounds good.
exciting.
So tomorrow is wear your favorite program trainer shirt.
I got it.
I don't know what I'm wearing yet.
Mhm.
And then I started looking at the menu for meal prep class on May 1st.
Okay.
So there's lots of good ones out there. It's going to be something with some quinoa for one of them. We'll see. There's lots of good options.
Yum.
Good. That
So I'll
sounds
get
yummy.
those. I'll get those done this weekend so we can have it out there to know what's happening.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
Are you talking
All
about the
right.
meal prep class?
Great, thank
Yeah.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All righty.
Everybody smile.
We have to take a picture.
Lily's taking it.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Okay, got it.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Well, we'll see you. Hopefully I'm on Jared's ride tomorrow. Hopefully I'm back to.
I hope so.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Night.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Hi,
All
guys.
right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.